In one of Australia's most popular holiday destinations, how can you create a place to escape?
For us, it's the outdoor space is the most important space for gathering. It's the area which allows you to still be protected but connected. So it's all of those lovely qualities, but we use bedrooms and the more enclosed spaces to help protect it. We use both building but also things like shade cloth. The main reason being to protect it both from people but mozzies and midgies.
Five double bedrooms. This is a large house, but it doesn't feel big at all.
We were always keen for kids to have enough space in what are essentially bunk rooms, but that they're encouraged to come out and play and gather on this little veranda space. Kind of encouraged to get down to the pool and be with everyone else.
It's a beautiful pool area here.
Yeah, and it's very much more a part of the house and just happens to have, almost this lagoon or billabong sitting in the middle of it rather than being a traditional backyard pool.
This house is not precious. It's robust. It's authentic. I can see families having really special times here. And James's design is central to all of that.
From the street, you wouldn't know it, but I reckon this next project is the world's most friendly fortress.
It's a reference to where it is, a beautiful part of southeast Queensland, very benign climate, and it has a tradition of living outdoors on protected patios.
Did you forget the windows?
We did not forget the windows.
Okay. Oh wow, James, straight in over a courtyard and I can see the screen open all around. Not every day is paradise. How do we close it down?
There's a weatherproof curtain that can shut down from the south and the west. To the lounge and dining, it's quite traditional doors, but they stack away and disappear.
So that is a window. That's what, 4.5 metres of view. That's fantastic.
That's what we want to see, but I don't think you can carry that through to every part of the house. Otherwise, the view can become quite boring fairly quickly.
So you've framed the view where you want the view. So why is this screen so light?
It needed to be very light to make sure we got a lot of light into the house, but also that you can see through it. So you can see what's going on around the house, back out to the street.
This amazing screen home makes you wonder why we've always built the way we do. The architect has invented a really simple way to do everything a wall should do, and more. It's another way architecture brings something new to market. Like so many parts of Australia, New Farm is being rebuilt, and that doesn't mean knockdown. There's a new breed that's reinventing the past. So we're in a brand new project, and yet it's got the real feel of a ruin. Why is that?
There's a language in the arrangement of the windows. They're somewhat random, and perhaps that supports the idea that we've appropriated this existing structure.
And then secondly, we've got that structure being almost overgrown.
At times, it almost appears to be finding its way into the building. Yes. The landscape's a really important thing in this project, Tim. So much development in Brisbane has led to this increasing issue of flooding. As you can see, we've lifted this portion of the building up so that the overland flow can pass beneath the building.
But then above this, we've got a really significant green roof.
There's a really heavy depth of soil, so we can grow mature plants up there, and you can see that they're just starting to find their way over the edge of the building.
So I know we're in subtropical Brisbane, but it's got a real Mediterranean feel. Why is that?
There's a history of Italian settlers in the area. When we first visited the site, we observed some of the neighbours talking across the fence line and even sharing their produce. So it was a really key factor for us in the project to implement the things that we needed here in this new house, but to preserve the relationship across the fence lines.
With its imagined ruin and wild landscape, but risk of taking over, this is a house that reminds us architecture is not just a technical skill, but it can give us places that are very, very romantic.
Our next architects have taken the quintessential Queenslander and given it a quirky kick.
When we first spoke to the clients, they said, we want a house that's memorable for our kids. And we started thinking about, well, what's it like to live in a Queenslander? What's memorable about them are the spaces that are not normally the spaces you're in. And we wanted to create this space which was literally like living under the house.
We're trying to reinforce the idea of living in the Undercroft. So if you imagine an Undercroft, things aren't built in. So the island bench is designed as a table, so it has legs. The fridge is freestanding, it's not built in, but it's still glammed up a bit. Downstairs was designed as an Undercroft and upstairs was designed literally like we're in an attic. And so traditionally well, as in any roof, we have trusses that hold the roof up. So in this case, they've been stretched out a little to make the rooms bigger and habitable.
Well, this is a really fun space.
This was really designed with the kids in mind. It's imagined as a play space. So it links the bedroom at that end of the veranda to this end of the veranda, so the kids can come through these little doors. And these are perforated aluminium screens, so they do a whole series of things for us. And it also allows all these little doors to be left open sort of all day, so the house can cross-ventilate.
This is a house where the architects have used their memories of growing up in a Queenslander to design a fun and memorable home for a new generation. It's a great reminder that architecture doesn't always have to be too grown up. A new house site is a blank slate, and it's always intriguing to discover where an architect gets that first design idea for a project. What did your clients say when you said, I'm going to design you a tent?
Well, Jill, I sat them down on site and we looked back at this incredible view, and I asked them if they enjoyed camping. And they sort of smiled and looked at me, and Nick said, we love camping, looking at me quite intrigued. And I said, that's great, because I've designed you a tent. It's a beautiful site, but I was very aware of the fact that any house that we put here needed to be able to pick up pieces of sky. Otherwise, there is the risk that you'd start feeling a little claustrophobic. The roof was always going to have to lift up and pick up these sort of pocket frame views of sky that you can see.
You've got a tensile structure that protects the site, and then you've slid an orthogonal box in underneath, and they don't touch each other.
No, it's two structures, and I've referred to it before as an esky and a tent. So we've got the esky for the winter months, or the colder times, and then that esky transforms and opens up to the point where it becomes a simple platform underneath the tent.
Dan, this is a beautiful bedroom space with really controlled horizontal views. And then I can see what you're talking about with the roof, where the minute it opens up, you're actually in a tent.
It transforms quite dramatically the spatial sensation when those roofs are open, and you end up on a platform under a tent in a rainforest. The tent actually generates its own airflow, so on a still day, the hot air will rise, obviously, and start sliding along the underside of the tent and pull cooler air from the rainforest up into the space. So it can be totally calm, no wind, and you can feel
a gentle kind of
breeze.
movement. This house is a deceptively simple overlay of two very different forms. It's the interaction between the two that adds so much complexity.